good night's sleep here at Big Bend, Chisos Basin Campground. There was a thing chirping all night long, and I don't know what it was, but that's the only thing I heard. And the Mexican jays are quite loud in the morning. Sadly, the little tarantula that came to visit me last night got squished by a vehicle. But I'm happy to report that when I got up this morning, the carcass is gone. So somebody had a tasty meal, and that's what matters. And no, it wasn't me. So some things you might like to know. Big Bend is accessible for visitors that have physical limitations. There are camp stores and ATMs. You're allowed to camp in the park for up to 14 consecutive nights, either in the front or back country. But there's a limit of 28 total nights in the park per calendar year. That just means you should volunteer here so you could live here all the time. Entrance fees, $30 per private vehicle, $25 for motorcycles, $15 if you walk in. Their annual pass is $55. Get the National Park Pass for $80, and you can go anywhere. Excuse me. Fires are prohibited. There are 2 gas stations at Panther Junction and the Rio Grande Village. There is a lodge in Chisos Basin. It's up the hill from where I'm staying. I can't see it from here. Cell phone service is available in the basin. Y'all, I have Verizon, and I have had no cell phone service. But there are public payphones by the lodge if you really need to make a phone call. There's a post office. They do recycling. There are showers and laundry in the Rio Grande Village store, and those are open 24 hours a day. And there are visitor centers. There's also Wi-Fi and internet at the Panther Junction and Chisos Basin visitor centers. Don't know for sure. I know the Wi-Fi up by the lodge worked kind of. The closest hospital is 100 miles away, FYI. The main wildlife that they see in the park are black bears, mountain lions, javelinas, coyotes, and there's 4 different types of rattlesnakes, including the Mojave, which is the most deadly one. I didn't see any rattlesnakes yesterday, thankfully, but I imagine they are still around because it's not that cold yet. There are backcountry permits that you can get at the visitor centers. You can camp. There's primitive roadside campsites. That would be fun. Backpacking, you can use the river, but you need to make sure you have your passport because the park shares 118 miles of border with Mexico. And they also have horseback riding. This is one of the places in the country where the sky is super, super dark. It was beautiful. I got to see a beautiful sunset, and then I got to see the moon rise and the stars rise, and I saw the Milky Way, and then the sunrise. The stars were completely visible. It was really great. There is a list of at least 18 popular trails in the park for all of us hiking fanatics. And there are a couple of scenic drives. And you can go to the Rio Grande Village, which is like right on the Mexican border. Man, I'm definitely gonna have to come back. You can bring your pets into the park, but they have to stay on the roads. You cannot hike with your dogs in the park, but that's pretty typical of national parks. And then the only other interesting fact is that they are you have to conserve water. Visitors are limited to 5 gallons of water per day when filling large containers. That's a lot of water. I mean, I think I only go through 1 gallon a day, maybe 1.5. When I'm like camping, I don't use a lot of water, so. But keep that in mind if you have like a large group. I don't know if that's 5 gallons per person per day. It doesn't really specify. But like if you have an RV, it says consider topping off your RV water tanks at another destination. So, FYI. There you have it, a brief summary of that creature is a Mexican jay, which is larger than an American blue jay, and I think they're even bluer than the American blue jay. They're really, really pretty, and I haven't been able to catch one on film in a long time, but I have 13 weeks to do that. No, actually I have 14 more weeks to do that because I'm back in the West and I'm loving it. I'm so happy to be back here. The visitor center is not open yet, but I was happy to borrow their Wi-Fi so that I could pull up my map and set my course and head for home. I don't know if I'll get there today. It's an 11-hour drive. I might just pull over one more time and sleep out on the road one more time, but we'll see. Let's hit the road. I still might stop at there's like a fossil exhibit on the way out of the park. I might stop to check that out. Here we go. That's the mountain range that I camped at last night. And now I'm gonna check out the fossil discovery exhibit. This used to be an old stream bed, and they can tell by the shape of the rocks. Out there calling to each other. I don't know if you can hear them. So it turns out the Chisos Mountain used to be an active volcano. I have really enjoyed my brief visit to Big Bend National Park, and hopefully I'll get back here again when I move back east in the future on my next East Coast travel nurse adventure. This is a leg bone from an Alamosaurus found at Big Bend, and they've also found fossils for Tyrannosaurs at Big Bend. Unbelievable. They found Tyrannosaurus jawbone in 1970. Super cool. This is a fish fossil they found at Big Ben, and it's from 90 million years ago. If you look through the tube, it records the extinction of the dinosaurs. All used to be covered with ocean 130 million years ago. If you're a fan of paleontology, you should definitely stop by the Fossil Discovery exhibit. It was worth checking out. Back at the park boundary, and I had a great time. It was a quick trip, worth every mile and minute. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it sparked a desire for you to get out there and see the parks. And yeah, stay tuned for more adventures, because I have plenty of adventures coming up in the future. Thanks for watching.